Hey, Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back to Poke Zoo Channel and the Guitar Ladder System. Um, One of the reasons I do a lot of demos with my guitars is because I usually hear from somebody, man, that guitar really speaks to me. And when somebody says the guitar speaks to me and they really want the guitar, I feel good about them connecting with the instrument because every guitar is a little bit different. And also, sometimes most emails I get or messages are cool. Every once in a while, people kind of get kind of weird. I really don't like that negative energy. But, if I say something like a guitar is special, I have a lot behind that. I've been doing this for 40 years. I'm 65. And I really know guitars, and I really know archtops as my field of expertise. So when I say a guitar is special, I'm not just overselling or it's not sales fluff. This is a really special 650. I would really say the best sounding one I've ever had. It just has a really, really beautiful tone. Whoever buys this, I would love to hear this guitar in another 20 hours because it's barely been played and it still sounds as good. Now, I've done this diminished lick before. I think I might just call this video a review of the LH650 because that seems to kind of attract traffic. And the most important thing I can say, and I've been saying this for a long time, and it's really true, every guitar is a little bit different. Even the Music Link that makes the lower arch tops, I've been with them 11 or 12 years, by the way. They even used a couple of my videos for the LH350 on their company site for I think about a year and a half. I'm really hooked up with these guys. But the 650 is an all-solid hand-carved arch top guitar. It's got a spruce top that's violin voiced, and violin voice is a real thing. It started with Lloyd Loar making mandolins back in the 1927, and actually violin makers way before that, way before were doing violin voicing to bring out the tone of of a violin or a cello or an arch top guitar or bass or whatever. But this is violin voice, which makes the top speak more. It brings out that natural reverb. Brings out the bloom, the kind of expansion of the tone. It's got a solid flame maple back. It's got a mahogany neck, which adds warmth and nice mid-range and mid-bass. And yeah, this actually reminds me a lot of an old Epiphone Triumph 1953 I used to have, which I really, really miss. But I have a family, and I live in Huntington Beach. It's not the cheapest place to live, and I needed to move it at some point, But yeah, this is a very, very special 650. The pick guard's a little low on it. They just kind of make them that way a little bit. But the value here, you could spend thousands of dollars and still not get a guitar this good. And by the way, that 4-chord, 13 flat 9. 4-chord, 13 flat 9. I know I need to move the camera so you can see what I'm doing, right? So 4-chord, which is part of chordal harmony, all perfect fourths, but after this note, there's another major third on top. But the 4-chord goes really nice to the 13 flat 9. Hear that? Or you could make to the major 13. See, then you get a little contrary motion. That time I put in the major 13 flat 5 first, not the major 13. So that's nice. You get, this comes up. You can then go to the 7 sharp, 5 sharp, 9, 9, 13, 13 flat 9, major 9, 6 with a 7 note top. But yeah, this guitar really has a high-end sound. I'm not just kidding or trying to oversell. It's the best sounding 650 I've ever had. It really just sounds beautiful. Like I said, the pick guard sits a little low. I wouldn't worry about that. If you really need to get it up, you could put a little piece of rubber under there or something. But this just sounds tremendous. This is an old Charlie Parker riff off the Diminish. This guitar just starts to hum when I play it. It's just amazing. They all don't do this, folks. It's not bullshit. They don't all do this. This is, maybe I'm just destined to keep this guitar, but I mean, if you want a really, really special, I usually sell these for $13.99. I think the list is around $18.79. They don't come with a case. I'll sell you the case close to cost. I'll do this one for $11.99, and you know, like I said, it really has a sound. It's actually one of the best sounding arch tops I've ever had. I used to own a bunch of L5s and L7s and Super 400s and Epiphones, and all, even had a Stromberg, all kinds of stuff. But this guitar's just humming. That's an old Charlie Parker off the diminished. It's off this scale. Hear the way that bloom, like the overtones just blooms out. Can you hear that? This is an unbelievable guitar. It's not bullshit. That's my own lick, but it kind of in that Pat Martino style. I'm using a diminished arpeggio right there, and then kind of chromaticizing on the second string, and then coming in with it with an augmented splash. But yeah, this is an unbelievable guitar. I probably have it tuned a little low. But yeah, really has a sound. What am I trying to do? But yeah, you know, if you could use a great, you know, the loars are great value. And with me, I actually have the guitar first. I get to know it, make sure it's special before I sell it. So you can hear that. But again, the most important point I can make, and it's really true, a lot of people have trouble understanding this because of all the marketing and advertising and branding, but no two guitars are the same, even the same make, even the same model. So when I say a loar is special, I'm not just saying that. You know, this is the best 650 I've ever had. And the crazy thing is, like I said, it's maybe been played a few hours, if even that. Maybe 4 or 5 hours, because I've used it for some demos. It's probably tuned a little bit lower. I have 11s on it. I think it's set up with 12s, so you could put some 12s on it or just raise the bridge a little bit or do nothing. It's playing great right now. I just probably have it a little bit low. On that Charlie Parker riff, here's my A, by the way, which it probably is not at 440. You can always kind of chromaticize it. Use the shape. I saw Hiram Bullock do who's a really, really great player, used to play, I think, on David Letterman. I saw him do a lick once on a Strat with overdrive, that exact lick, by the way, and it sounded so cool. It's a lick that has a lot of color. You can stay in one place. Anyway, this is I think I'll just call this video the best 650 I've ever had, because it really is. And that's unplugged. Four chord, major 13. 4 chord, major 13, 4 chord, major 13, flat 5, bichord. This guitar just, I mean, I'm really gonna miss this. So I mean, I really hope if I do sell it, it goes to somebody cool. But like I said, this guitar is gonna speak to somebody out there. I can feel it. And it just has it. And this one's kind of on the cusp. It might be one that had nitro finish. It might not be nitro, but it. I checked with my rep, and he checked with the manager. I see a couple little weird little marks on the back that are just like kind of in the finish. You know, it looks like it just rubbed out. And there's some very, very, very subtle little, very, very thin lines that you really have to work hard to find. But sometimes you just get that in the finish, you know. But let me tell you, this guitar is really a lot of value at $11.99. Like I said, you just barely. Can you hear that hum? Like I'm barely playing it, and I can hear this sound with like 2 or 3 different octaves and harmonics. Hopefully you can hear that. I'm trying to show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'll go $11.99 on this. List is around $18.79. It sounds unbelievable. Cases are about $160. I'll do the case for you for like, you know, like $79. That's really close to cost. Hear that? It's unbelievable. Now just there, I heard a little bark. Not sure if you heard it. Anyway, this is an unbelievable guitar. I'm really gonna miss it, but this is going to speak to somebody, and they're going to hear the tone, and like I said, it's probably tuned a little bit low right now. But this is really a lot of guitar. Really has a sound, and it's. I think some people don't understand. Some people think you're overselling when you try to explain how a guitar is special, but they're musical instruments. It's not like going to, you know, In-N-Out Burger and getting a burger. They're all the same, you know. Although their meat needs to be thicker, right? With guitars, they're all a little bit different, and that's what makes this fun. And it's been such an education for me over the last 30, 35, 40 years, you know. My sweatshirt's rested on the strings a little bit. What a sound. Like it's got the great natural reverb, but it has this bloom where all the notes just kind of swell out in an orchestral tone. I'm not very warmed up. I apologize for that. All right, all solid hand-carved art shop. I mean, this guitar, when you plug it in, it has a high-end sound like an old vintage Johnny Smith you could pay thousands for, you know, like 10 grand, 8 grand, you know. Yeah, this is a very, very, it's a little dusty. You need to clean it. It's very, a little bit dusty. But this really, really, really has a sound. The luthiers just keep getting better and better, and I think sometimes they spend a little more time. And it's also not just the time. I think sometimes the wood, maybe the wood laid around a little bit longer and aged in the forest a little bit longer. They have a guy that just travels the globe and buys wood. So anyway, this is really a lot of guitar, and it's somebody really cool is going to hear this, and it's going to speak to them. So, and by the way, if you're in Canada, I have a special way I can ship it to you to save a lot of money. Save a lot of money on the customs and duties, and which will make you happy. All right, folks, take care. Really nice guitar, a ton of value for the money. it's getting hard. I mean, there's really very few great values anymore in the guitar world because most companies are making, charging so much money because they spend millions and millions on expensive advertising and branding and marketing. So, the great opportunities are few and far between, and the lower arch tops is one of the best values around. If you want to call me, 714-548-0385. Email stevezook7@yahoo.com. That's 7, the number not spelled out. If you want a sample of the guitar ladder system, send me an email, stevezook, the number 7, not spelled out, @yahoo.com. If you just really want to make some progress this year on guitar, don't overthink it. Just go order it. I'll give you a whole year to work the guitar ladder system. And I want you to work it for at least a year first, though. And at the end of the year, if you don't agree you've made huge progress, I'll refund every dime. But that's for new customers, and that's after you work it a year. It really works, folks. I wake up the musical mind, I wake up musical seeds. We seed the subconscious mind, which is very powerful. My guitar ladder system does not put music and learning into a little cute little left brain box. It feeds the subconscious mind. It will wake up the composer within. It will help you discover your own unique musical point of view. It's heavy, man. I've had so many letters. It really works, folks. At $199, and you'll get a lot more joy out of playing guitar. My advice is don't overthink it. Go to stevezookguitars.com. Just scroll. I'm still working on the site, but you can just scroll down on the homepage. Order the guitar ladder system. You're going to love the progress. But according to the science of neuroplasticity, it's actually better not to focus on results. They say when you're just positive and you're in the here and now, you don't focus on results. Your subconscious mind has a save switch and an open switch. It's incredible. There's a whole science connected to this. I didn't even know that when I developed my approach to guitar ladder, but when I later found that out, I was like, okay, well, that explains one of the reasons why it's working so well. You just play the studies. You don't overanalyze them. You just listen. You play. You don't try to figure it out on a left brain. Well, it's doing this and doing this. And you'll learn 10 different systems of improvisation in a very organic way without having to define it. Boy, this guitar sounds good, man. It's got just beautiful mids and mid bass and treble and bass, but that orchestral bloom. Really a nice guitar. All right, folks. Happy New Year. Let's all stay positive. We all have challenges in our life. But when you change the way you think about things, the things you think about change. Ciao.